Australia prides itself on being one of the most culturally diverse countries in the world. Most Australians are aware of the difficulties in multiculturalism regarding social issues, such as race and religion discrimination. But what about issues of multiculturalism within families? How do family members cope with differing languages, lifestyles, and culture? 2 Australian university students are interviewed to share their experience with language and cultural barriers in their family and households.
The first subject is Eva, who was born and raised in Australia. Due to the dominant role of English in her education and social life, Eva struggles to communicate with her family, who have broken English. Eva, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm 19 years old. I'm studying a Bachelor of Science. My parents both grew up in Taiwan and they moved to Australia about 25 years ago, and I was born in Brisbane.
Why do you find it challenging to openly communicate with your family?
I think that culture is one of the main issues. So, for instance, explaining to my parents why I want to do certain things, like going out with my friends or like having a boyfriend stay over. Sometimes that's quite difficult. And also my parents didn't make me exclusively speak Chinese at home. I think that because we are living in Australia, they thought it was okay for me to speak English at home sometimes, but that meant my Chinese didn't improve.
Do these language barriers divide your family?
Yes, culturally, and what we value, what we think. So, for instance, my mum and I both believe that a woman should be able to have whatever job she wants, but we disagree in how active of a role a woman should play in a household with things like cleaning and cooking.
How has this language barrier affected your relationship with your immediate family?
Overall, I think that our conversation topics are quite limited. Also, I think this sometimes stops me from opening up to my mum and dad about certain things because I find it difficult expressing myself properly.
The second subject is Evans Wong. So Evans, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name's Evans and I'm from Hong Kong. I have been to Australia about 6 years. I am studying film and TV.
So how did you communicate with your host family in the first few weeks?
I was nervous as they are my second host family. When I was living with the other host family, I used to lock myself inside the room until dinner. However, when I moved it to Stuart, Ruth and Ryan's house, Ruth have invited me to watch The Voice. It makes me feel I'm part of the family and I don't have any struggle to talk to them.
Were there any cultural differences between you and your host family?
Yes. When I was first came to my bedroom, my head of the bed is next to the door, and in the Chinese culture, it will give us a bad luck. So my host family has changed it for me.
With over 270 cultures within Australia and over 400 languages spoken, it's clear that language barriers are still an ever-present issue in Australia.
What advice would you give to other young Australians in a similar position to yourself?
I would say be understanding of your parents, be patient with them. In their eyes, they're doing what they believe is the best for you. Also, it would be a good idea to learn their language, especially if they're not great at English, because then you'll be able to open up to them more and also just discuss more things with them.
I would like to say that talk as much as you can and try to be part of the culture and the family. It is a great experience.
After speaking with Eva and Evans, it is clear there is an issue of cultural and language barriers with not only first-generation immigrants living in Australia, but with multicultural Australian families themselves. This juxtaposition of first and second-generation immigrants highlights a challenge that is often not thought of by other Australians, a challenge all Australians need to work together on.